G'day from Mt Gibraltar. As I turn the camera around to show you some of the views from this magnificent piece of real estate, let me just tell you the background. Hey, we're nearly getting blown off here. Okay, the owners asked us to help them reblaze a trail to the summit. It's on private property and it overlooks Lansdowne Valley down there, and then further out is Lawn Flora Reserve. You can see South Brother, and then Middle Brother, and then North Brother, Queens Lake, and out that way is Mount Comboyne and Bago Bluff with our city behind it, and nestled in the valley there is a little village of Comboyne. This plateau is very fertile and is dairy country, once devoted also to potato growing, but now avocados. So a very rich, productive country. So that's Mt Gibraltar. We're about 60 metres from, 60 kilometres from Pacific Ocean, and we're at an elevation of 860 metres. The track we put in is 600 metres long, and it climbs 60 metres, so lots of sixes there. It's not a Mount Everest, but it is a gobsmacking view from this elevation. And you'll see why I brought you here as we try and wrap up Isaiah chapter 2, which is quite the shocker. Let me just read it to you as we explore for end times insights. So I'm reading from verse 12, Isaiah 2 verse 12, from the NASB. It doesn't say day of the Lord, but we can live with that. Listen to this. For the Lord of hosts will have a day of reckoning against everyone who is proud and lofty, against everyone who is lifted up, that he may be abased, and it will be against all the cedars of Lebanon that are lofty and lifted up, against all the oaks of Bashan, against all the lofty mountains, against all the hills that are lifted up, against every high tower, against every fortified wall, against all the ships of Tarshish, and against all the beautiful craft. The pride of man will be humbled, and the loftiness of men will be abased, and the Lord alone will be exalted in that day. The idols will completely vanish. Men will go into caves of the rocks, into the holes of the ground, before the terror of the Lord, and the splendour of his majesty, when he arises to make the earth tremble. In that day, men will cast away to the moles and the bats their idols of silver and their idols of gold, which they made for themselves to worship, in order to go into the caverns of the rocks and the clefts of the cliffs. Here we go again. Before the terror of the Lord and the splendour of his majesty, when he arises to make the earth tremble. Stop regarding man whose breath of life is in his nostrils, for why should he be esteemed? Wow. Now, using that horrible Greek word exegesis, which means to interpret, let's try and do that with this passage. And you'll notice that the context is about the pride of man. It's not really about tall trees, tall mountains, big buildings. They may be affected, but the context is the pride of man. Remember, in Isaiah's day, there weren't skyscrapers. There was no Eiffel Tower. There's no high-rise apartment buildings, office blocks, World Trade Center. The tallest thing would have been trees and mountains. So he's using metaphoric language. It's all going to bring down man's pride in his way of life. Now, very interesting when you look at that word tremble. It comes from the Hebrew word oratz. I've just got to hold one hand on the camera so it doesn't disappear over the cliff. And I'm hiding behind an umbrella. It's so windy up here. Here we go. Oratz from Strong's. To awe or to dread. Be afraid, dread, feared, terrified. Oppress, prevail, shake terribly. This is scary stuff. Yeah. You won't hear that from the pulpit very often because it's not very popular. That the way of life that we're comfortable in is finite. God is going to arise and he is going to shake the earth terribly. So I hope you've enjoyed our climb to Mount Gibraltar. It's one of those places where the camera hardly does it justice. People just go, ooh, ah, when they get up here. Looks out over the Hastings River Valley to our north, and it looks out over the Manning Valley to the south. Pacific Ocean is way out there to the east. 360-degree views, a magnificent place. Thanks for listening.